Right, so welcome back to another video on this channel. Welcome to a brand new series on this channel where basically I'm going to be going through all the latest and greatest transfer business around the Premier League, and this series is basically called Transfer Season. And as I said just there, this series is going to be like a transfer series going through this summer transfer window, updating you guys on the latest and greatest transfer news from around the Premier League in terms of like confirmed transfers and also rumours. And this is a series that I've kind of thought of to do since the Premier League obviously isn't on at the moment. I know we have the European competitions, but obviously Premier League football doesn't start for another like 4 or 5 weeks or so. So yeah, what better time to start a transfer season series, which obviously is going to go through the summer transfer window, and I might bring it back then in January 2021 and so forth. But yeah, let's get straight into this episode of transfer season, starting off with, of course, the biggest story of today. Jadon Sancho's move to Manchester United from Borussia Dortmund could potentially be in jeopardy, because for those of you who haven't of course seen this already, Borussia Dortmund's director of football Michael Zorc has said the following: "We planned with Jadon Sancho, he would play with us next season. I think that answers all your questions." Yeah, based on that logic, Jadon Sancho looks like he could be staying with Borussia Dortmund next season, and if that's the case, that is absolutely massive news. However, I do think that it's a bit over-exaggerated. I do think that Sancho will still make his way to Manchester United at some point during this transfer window, because some people have been saying as well that the same guy, Michael Zorc, of course, did say this in 2017 over Ousmane Dembele's alleged transfer to Barcelona, which did look like it was under threat as well because of the same reason. And yet, in the end, that transfer did happen, and it's probably just a ploy for Borussia Dortmund to try and get as much money as they can out of Jadon Sancho going to Manchester United. So yeah, I just do think that will still happen. But it does seem a lot more unlikely and probably tougher to get through than most people originally anticipated, because many journalists and in the knows on Twitter and social media all around the place were saying that Jadon Sancho had agreed personal terms with Manchester United, and as far as I understand, that is still the case. But I think a lot of people thought the deal would be a lot more straightforward than it actually is proving to be, because obviously Manchester United are looking to pay around £90 million. Borussia Dortmund want to hold out for around €120 million. So yeah, as to how that transfer pans out, we will have to wait and see. It's definitely not going to be one that's done in the next week or two anyway. And Jadon Sancho is currently in Switzerland on a pre-season training camp with his Borussia Dortmund teammates. So yeah, it should be very, very interesting to see how that story finishes. Next story now for me is closer to home, because of course I am a Chelsea fan, for those of you who are new to this channel, and that is that of course our Brazilian winger, or former Brazilian winger at this stage, Willian, has confirmed that he is leaving the club. He put up a letter explaining his reasoning and basically confirming that he is leaving the club in this summer transfer window. So yeah, Willian's played his last game for the club, and it looks 99% confirmed that Willian will be joining our London rivals Arsenal in the next couple of days. So apparently Willian has been offered a 3-year contract at Arsenal with the option of a 4th if those 3 years go well, on £100,000 a week. Now of course Chelsea weren't willing to offer him more than a 2-year contract, and Willian did want to hold out for a 3-year contract to stay in London. He also did have offers from foreign clubs like Juventus and Barcelona to my knowledge, but yeah, he has chosen in the end to stay in London, and he's joining Arsenal on a free transfer in the next few days. In terms of how I feel about that one, it's not really something that I'm kind of pleased with, because of course Willian has been a great player for us over the last few years, and I know a lot of Arsenal fans are trying to please themselves by saying, oh, Willian was one of our best players, Arsenal have taken one of our most important players, and I'm sorry, but that's just not the case, because let's be real, if Willian did stay, he was going to be nothing more than a squad player, a player that's going to come off the bench and try and make an impact in the late minutes of the game. And yeah, although for some fans it sucks that he's not staying, I do think that we will end up replacing him, and it's not going to be a massive miss for Chelsea, if I'm being honest. In saying that though, I think it is a very, very good signing for Arsenal, because although he is 32, nearly 33 years of age, he still has quite a lot to give at a high level of football. I think he'll do very well in that Arsenal attack alongside Nicolas Pepe and Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, who looks like he's signing a contract extension. Another one now that is involved with Chelsea, but this time in terms of arrivals. I know there's going to be a lot of Chelsea related transfers in this series, but that's pretty much because of course we had a transfer ban last season, and we're literally just going to go spending crazy in this transfer window. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of Chelsea stories coming up, and this one of course involves the long saga of Kai Havertz to Chelsea from Bayer Leverkusen. And it is widely understood that Kai Havertz of course will complete his long-awaited move to Chelsea after Bayer Leverkusen's Europa League campaign is finished. They play Inter Milan tonight as I'm recording this video, and yeah, it should be very, very interesting to see if Leverkusen can go through, because if not, the deal for Havertz to Chelsea could speed up rapidly. I mean, there's talks that Chelsea are going to agree a fee of around £80 million plus add-ons, and yeah, it's been widely documented that Kai Havertz is set on a move to Chelsea. He wants to follow his German compatriot Timo Werner to Stamford Bridge. And yeah, in terms of the calibre of signing, let's not get it twisted here. Kai Havertz, like Jadon Sancho, is a generational talent, and I think he will add a lot of creativity to our midfield for the near future. And yeah, what a signing that would be. I can't wait till this one gets over the line, if it does of course, because you can't be certain in the transfer window. So yeah, that is the main 3 news stories for today. Now onto some more news. Pierre-Emile Højbjerg is on the verge of completing his £15 million move from Southampton to Tottenham. Apparently he's had his medical completed today, and he will complete obviously a £15 million move to Tottenham. A very good signing for Jose Mourinho, because he does seem like the type of player that would fit Mourinho's style down to the ground. You know, he's hard working, he's dogged, he's got a very good passing range on him, and I think he can be a very good player next to either Ndombele if he stays, or Giovanni Lo Celso in that pivot in Tottenham's midfield. There seems to be a lot of outlets tipping both Said Benrahma and Ollie Watkins to quit Brentford for Aston Villa this summer. Now if that actually happens, that would be an absolutely unbelievable double swoop from Aston Villa, because of course Watkins and Benrahma, two key players in Brentford's promotion hunt last season, and although they lost to Fulham in the playoff final, I think Watkins and Benrahma are both Premier League bound, and they will go for roughly about 20 to 25 million each. There's a lot of Premier League clubs in the race to sign both Benrahma and Watkins, but it does look like Aston Villa are the front runners for not one of them, but two of them. In other news, of course, Liverpool have just confirmed the signing of Greek defender Kostas Tsimikas for a fee of around £11.75 million. Not a bad signing in fairness, because he was linked with quite a few Premier League clubs like the likes of Leicester to replace Ben Chilwell, but let's be real, he won't really play any games for Liverpool. He's literally going to be the backup for Andy Robertson there, but a quite tidy signing for such a small fee as well, so yeah, decent signing for Liverpool. Brighton defender Shane Duffy, of course, Irish defender himself, is very close apparently to moving from Brighton to West Brom. He has kind of fallen out of favour under Graham Potter at Brighton because of the football they play. It doesn't really suit Shane Duffy really, if I'm being honest. And yeah, it looks like West Brom are about to sign Shane Duffy from Brighton. It did look for a while like West Ham were going to sign him, but in the end it looks like West Brom have stolen a march in that race for Shane Duffy. And I think if that happens, that'll be a very, very good signing for West Brom, because Shane Duffy's a very solid defender, and I think in my opinion is very underrated. And finally, Joe Gelhardt has moved from Wigan to Leeds for a fee of around £1 million. A decent young signing for Leeds, a decent championship level striker who I think will very much test himself in the Premier League, and yeah, definitely one for the future. And that will bring us to the end of this episode of Transfer Season. If you did enjoy, make sure to drop a like on the video. If you are going to enjoy this series, make sure to drop a like, and if you're excited for more of these episodes, also make sure to subscribe to the channel. We've just hit 200 subscribers. We're currently on like 210 at the moment, so yeah, thank you so much guys for your support on the channel. The support on the channel recently has been absolutely mind-blowing, and yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. See ya.